Everdream will be our first map. One of the new maps. Let's see what these players have in store. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Let's see how this goes. Remember, exclamation bracket in chat, exclamation Matcherino in chat. Don't forget, guys. Oh no, my StarCraft. All right, there we go. Okie dokie, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. We have the Protoss player, Chris. And in the top right, we have the Red Terran player, Selbster. 696 and Heroes will be the teams. Let's see what they have coming up for us right now. The first meaningful decision I'm going to be keeping an eye out here for on the Terran side. Are we going to have Rax next, or are we going to go gas before Rax? Gas before Rax would be indicative of us maybe a quicker factory, and that doesn't seem to be the way he's going to go. I don't think that's super common in this matchup, but some players do go that route. Back on the other side of the map, a gateway is going to be the opening choice for Chris. No Forge opener. Nothing quite that cheeky, but it is Protoss. There are still a myriad of ways that he can make things interesting. Probes in production. Quick chrono as soon as he finishes that first pylon, which pretty standard, but on top of things so far. Chris will be first to get the jump on the scouting game here. And he's going to take a look. Everything's going to look normal so far. He's going to check out the gas count. He's going to see one gas. He's not going to see a second gas. He's not going to see a factory starting up right after. Let's see if he sticks around long enough to verify that a factory is not going to start up right away. He will get chased off by an SCV here. Been burned by probes. Our first battle of the game. Who's going to take it? Running for his life will be the probe. He turns around. He says, I want some more. Changes his mind. Nexus is going to start after the core, so he was able to delay the Nexus by a few seconds there, which so even if it doesn't make a huge difference economically, I know a lot of players, their reaction to getting delayed like that is to just go with an all-in. They get frustrated and they're like, I'm just going to come kill you. Let's see if Selbster forces any kind of decisions like that. Both players have naturals on the way. No factory just yet. No second gas just yet. Thank you for the follow. There we go. Factory starting up now. Right on 100 gas. Reaper coming across, taking the place of the scouting SCV. He will have the job of keeping an eye on things that are going on. If you're able to kill that's a probe. See, he might get a probe kill here, and that's nice, but getting the Reaper out alive is most important. Adept has popped, and the Adept will begin to chase down the Reaper. Getting damage done before the shade finishes is going to put him in a good position to possibly get the kill here. One more auto attack is all it's going to take. Reaper's going to get out with his life this time. Oh, unfortunate. A little bit of a gap there for him to make his escape. Robo is on the way. He was able to see that this Robo had been started up. If he was able to click on it, he knows that Robo first was the tech choice. Let's see if he goes into a quick robotics bay after this observer. A lot of players in this matchup like to do disruptor drops, and I'm kind of hoping for it because it's fun to watch. Factory producing Widow Mines. Couple of Marines in production as well. Let's see if a Widow Mine drop is going to be the way today. Widow Mine drop, a very standard TVP opener. Reaper in a safe little corner there, so he won't get he won't lose his life to a stalker moving out or something. But he's also not going to be in a position to see anything moving out. Hopefully he remembers that's there and continues to get information from it. Thanks for the follows, guys. Appreciate it. There we go. He does go up to check out his third. The Reaper makes a bolting here for the main. Says, I may die, but I'm going to get some more information on my way out. Oh, no. He tunnel visions on the probes. Not going to have time to kill any probes. He is going to realize that and does come into the main in time to see. He did get an eye on the extra factor, the extra gateways, right? He does not see how many gateways are here. Robotics Bay firing up now. Colossus will probably be the play from Chris. Back on the other side of the map, we've got Tech Labs firing up on the starport and the factory. Engineering bay on the way and a couple more barracks as well. Let's see, he's going to go ahead and move this off, go back to a reactor on both of these. So these tech labs are for these building barracks. He's going to go for a quick combat shield, a quick stim, and possibly some Marauders to deal. Marauders do much better against Protoss than they do in the other matchups. Only going with the single engineering bay. A forge has been started up for our Protoss player. Pulling out of the way here, recognizing the Widow Mine drop coming in a lot quicker than I am, and he will pull away. Oh, but the Widow Mine is going to get so many kills. This should not happen. He saw this coming, and all he had to do was walk the Widow Mine into a little more aggressive position, and that will pay for itself. We didn't have game hearts, so I can't give you an exact count, but that is going to put Terran ahead on workers. Fantastic damage out of that Widow Mine drop. Very standard opening, getting more than standard damage here. Marine count starting to look pretty good across the map. He is starting those upgrades like we predicted here. 2 medevacs in production, and he's going to be going with Widow Mines to supplement this army rather than any kind of tanks. +1 attack is on the way as well, adding on a couple more racks for good measure, not trying to float any money. We should see it doesn't look that bad on the worker count. Only 45 to 40 doesn't look like a huge deal, but in this matchup, you always want to be ahead as the Protoss player. There's mules, and just the way the Terran economy works is it should, if all things go according to plan, it should have less workers just by default. So with Terran having an actual worker lead here, that's a fantastic place to be in. He's moving out, looking for a push here. A couple Widow Mines with some Marine medevac is going to be the play. Not opting to go into those Marauders just yet. Looks like Marauders will be in the reinforcements, however. Across the map, we've got the extended thermal lance on the way for the Colossus. First Colossus is about to pop. Colossus will do very well against Bio. Even before the extended thermal lance, they do pretty well. We got another Colossus here. All these Widow Mines a little bit ahead of the party. They're going to die before the rest of their army, and that may leave Selbster in a position where he chooses to think twice here. Maybe moving towards a drop towards the south side that is going to get spotted by this observer. So Chris, if he was watching his mini-map, should have an idea that this is coming. Nothing happening in his main, though. He's going to get another shot to spot it here coming up with this observer. Will catch this on the way in. Really taking the scenic route here on this drop. Third CC floating out to location, going with the vertical third. Oh, a few misrallied reinforcements are going to get caught out here by the Protoss army, but is the Protoss distracted? He needs to be spotting this down towards his main, and it does not look like he is. He seems to be tunnel vision on what's going on the north side of the map here. By now, though, he's undoubtedly noticed this drop coming into his main. Drop coming in, going to get a lot of damage on the tech here. There is nothing here to contest these Marines. Recall is used by the Protoss, and Recall is going to bring in the Colossus. It is going to bring plenty of units to chase this off, but getting Recall on cooldown, not a bad trade. Throwing your opponent off balance, still maintaining a worker lead, able to secure a third behind this pressure. There is an observer keeping an eye on everything. He knows exactly what there is for him across the map. This production's starting to look pretty scary. Second NG Bay has been started up. He's got +1 armor on the way, and the reason he doesn't have double upgrades, there it is. The armory is coming out late from Selbster, so this is going to slow down what should have been a nice little upgrade advantage for him. Let's see if that becomes a significant factor. Upgrades are tied for now, and with a bio army, those upgrades are very important. Not being able to go into +2 right away could play a factor as we get into some later engagements. Right here, though, I'm taking a look at what I see. I think Terran does not want to take this fight. There is a lot of Protoss here, and he does have the intuition to recognize he needs to scout the top corner. Not sure if he saw the Liberator, but he does see the bio. Liberator coming in behind this. Let's see what kind of reaction is there for the Liberator. This bio is not long for this world. Back at the base, Liberator is sieging up on the mineral line, and there is a drop in the main as well. Workers are falling fast for Chris. Chris is in a precarious situation here. He does not have his recall. Recall still on cooldown from earlier. Liberator continuing to do work by the third. It will finally be taken down by a couple warped-in stalkers. And a Liberator, they're going to have to walk through a Liberator range to get back into their main. This is a horrible situation. Down falls the Nexus. All these buildings are depowered. The Robo Bay is down. Reinforcements are here for Chris, but he's taken so much damage from this push already. 59 workers to 31. Selbster has himself in commanding position here, still continuing to be annoying by the third. Taking out these shield batteries is not meaningful damage, but every moment you can continue to keep your opponent under stress is a good. But however, you don't want to lose these medevacs, and you won't. A lot of damage done in the main for Chris, and he knows it too. He's moving out, looking to get aggressive because he's just taking a lot of damage. He knows he's way behind. He knows he lost his main base. He lost his robo base, so once this bio begins to mass up, he does not have the tools he needs. He does not have the splash damage he needs to deal with it. And the one problem is he's going to be attacking into a lot of Widow Mines. I think the only chance he has here of getting what he needs is friendly fire on these Widow Mines. He is going to get the jump on Selbster at the third. Selbster should have had an idea this was coming and does not react in time. Alright, Bio Army moving in. A couple Widow Mines ready to plant their butts in the front. The Widow Mine damage is going to be key here. Attacking into Widow Mines is very difficult, but the friendly fire could become significant. Nice force fields out of Chris. He is getting the better of this engagement so far, but when the force fields fall, will there still be enough bio left to deal with this? These Colossus from the back line continuing to get a lot of damage. Some Zealots come in from the flank, but the Widow Mines are plenty to deal with that. However, we look at the army supply. Chris is sitting with the lead, and these three Colossus in the back continue to rain down lasers from the sky. Uncontested, the Colossus are becoming a key part of this fight. Able to clear out the last remaining Widow Mines. A Liberator is going to be his last hope here. Liberator trying desperately. Has Selbster, he got the economic damage, but he's pulling the boys, getting ready to take some damage of his own. The worker counts are evening out, and there's still nothing here to deal with the Colossus. The Protoss army moving in towards the main. When he gets on top of the production of the Terran, it's going to be very difficult to deal with this. Selbster is attacking with the workers. He knows it's now or never, and unfortunately for him, it is looking like never. Chris mows down the workers. Selbster down to 2 SCVs. He got so much damage earlier, but there was too much Protoss, and he did not have the tools he needed to kill it. He needed some Vikings. He needed a Raven. He needed something to deal with these Colossus, and instead he had nothing. Buildings begin to float. Back across the map, he is doing some damage with the drop. I did miss this. This is good damage he's getting across the map. 18 workers to 1, however, and we've got 2 Colossus and some army here to fortify this base. I think once Selbster moves in towards the third and recognizes that he's not getting any more damage, he may tap out of this. We have the luxury of being able to see the supply counts. We know the situation. We have no fog of war. And here comes this Protoss army. That is a lot of Protoss left at home, and he's going to see a fully mining base here in a second. Oh, he's going to get the jump on this base. He's going to take out a few more workers for his trouble. GG is called. The drop is cleaned up. Chris taken 1-0. All right, well played by Chris. Took a lot of damage from the multi-prong. However, it was didn't have enough left at home to deal with the Protoss. We're going to get right into our next map on Everdream. Everdream will be the next map. Chris up 1-0 in this best of 3. All right. Spawning in the top right-hand corner, looking to take the series 2-0. We have the Protoss player, Chris. And in the bottom left, trying to even up this series, trying to take the economic damage he was able to get from his tools and move it into a win, we've got the Terran player, Selbster. Starting up his first supply depot. Everything probably going to start out pretty similar. Maybe we'll see a forge out of Chris, maybe if he's feeling a little cheeky. But if I'm Chris, I'm not trying to change anything. You want your opponent to prove that he can deal with the Robo Bay units. And in the first game, he was unable to do that. Simulator firing up. back in the bottom left-hand corner. Everything coming along. Gas starting. Yeah, nothing really significant to comment on so far. Timings of the scout, everything looking right on like it did the first game. These players have practiced their openers, and they know what they're doing. Going ahead and making sure he doesn't get his gas stolen there. Chris starting up his second gas. Trying to be a little annoying with this SCV, but Chris is right on top of that with the probe. A Reaper coming across the map, seeing what information it can get. Naturals have been started by both players. As the core finishes up, the Adept will be on the way. The Adept is going to be a little bit later this time. Last time around, the Natural got delayed from Chris, which forced him to throw down his Cyber a little early. Otherwise, he would have been floating money. So it's going to bring the Adept out a bit later. Let's see if Selbster is able to jump on that window. We said last game the main focus of this Reaper should be scouting and not, but every probe that you kill is it's kind of a getting 2 probes is nice. Getting 2 probes is a nice mind game this early on. Getting out, very nice to see. So first thing I'm seeing different here, Selbster is throwing down. He is not going into any tech options. He's going into a quick 3 racks on these 2 bases. These quick 3 racks are going to likely mean early aggression. He's got +1 started up already, so he's got an idea of hitting with a very early +1 attack. And so far, Chris doesn't have anything to scout this. So let's see if this is going to pay off for him. I expect to see Stim starting up here in a moment. Yep, there goes Stim. Maybe concussive shells. We'll see what happens. Double Tech Lab is going to be the choice. Once more, Marauders coming out as well. No upgrade started on the second Tech Lab yet. Let's see what's going to be. There we go. Second upgrade started. Combat Shields is going to be the choice. Second gas on the way as well for Selbster. Bit of a skirmish going on by this third base. With Chris trying to go for this early third, Selbster says you're falling exactly into what I hoped. However, there is going to be an observer here. This observer has neglected to go into the main and really get an idea. He's seen that there's 2 racks and no tech at the front, which is a little bit suspicious on its own, but you really want to go in and see the third racks and really have an idea of what's coming. He's going to see a high bio count with no supporting tech. There we go. So that's going to be the end of the observer. Chris with no tools left to see what's coming. He's got some observers on the map looking on common drop routes, but this isn't going to be a drop. This is going to be a parade push across the map. He's going to come in towards the third, and that third was an investment that may prove to burn him. The robotics bay is finishing up, so we might have a bit of splash damage out to deal with this. Going straight into a quick Colossus is going to be nice. Chrono boosting it as well. I think he may have seen what was coming with this Phoenix, not 100% sure. If not, now he sees units rallying and reinforcement, and that gives him an idea that he might be in a bit of trouble. We've got 4 Stalkers and an Adept. 4 Stalkers, an Adept, and a Sentry aren't going to be able to deal with this. He queues up some shield batteries, but they're not going to be there in time. This third base is not going to survive this, unfortunately. Oh, this might be a mistake, Chris. Terran units are very scary. They're going to be doing a lot more damage, but that Stalker count's starting to look pretty impressive. Down falls the third base for Chris. He is supply blocked as a result. That supply block might be the most significant part of that, and it is enough damage to justify this early pressure. Without any tools to push into the Colossus, that probably wasn't going to be the best idea, and that's not the idea that he has. He's headed home. Starting up second gas on the net. No sign of a third base just yet. Second upgrade on the way, and Armory coming behind it, not trying to get that bottleneck on the upgrades again. The starport and barracks have been added on, and factory rather, have been added on. He's also adding on another racks. Looks like he's going to try and supplement this army with some medevacs. Third base on the way as well. A lot of bio here for Selbster. The third base is a bit late, but he took out the third of his opponent. Protoss is moving out on the map, and I'm not sure. 2 Colossus is pretty scary. I'm actually not 100% sure how this is going to go. Army supply is looking very even. There's an upgrade advantage for the Terran, but I'm not sure that upgrade advantage is going to be enough without any Vikings to deal with this Colossus. If he's not able to get on top of these Colossus, they're going to kill all of this bio. We don't even have any medevacs yet. Nothing in production either out of that starport. Oh, there we go. 2 medevacs just popped. They were rallying to where they needed to be. These medevacs are very, very important here. He's going to need to get some decent value out of this bio, and the splash versus the bio is really the key here. Both players nervously looking at each other. They see that these armies are very close in size. Not going to get the observer. Someone should nerf the observer speed so observers can't escape spines, because it feels bad for the Terran player, you know what I'm saying? And here comes the fight. There are going to be some charge lots in the front to tank. The Colossus in the back are raining down their lasers from the sky once more. Will Colossus be the bane of Selbster? A very nice force field here is going to put Selbster in a position where he has to fight. A-moving and stutter stepping forward is great with the bio, but not so great with the Widow Mines, and all of the army has been cleaned up. 58 army supply to 28. There is no answer here for these Colossus. Still no Vikings. Still no Raven. Protoss gets on top of the Terran, and here we go. Boys are pulled. The last final stand of the Terran is going on. I expect to see a supplementary warp-in and probably a Call of GG coming out momentarily. Selbster being a bit cheeky. Here we go. We do have a couple Vikings, but the Vikings are going to get cleaned up quickly. There's too many stalkers here. They weren't there in time. The workers have all fallen. 51 workers to 7 is the count. No third base for the Protoss, but he is getting deadly damage that Selbster will not be able to come back from. GG is called. Chris is going to take the series 2-0.